and the land. Till the soil, the man, the seeds and the land. The future is agriculture.
My name is Stanley West McPherson, and I'm your host tonight on What Matters at the Roundtable. March the 29th, 2016. We're on Pegasus, Channel 13. We're live, 7:30. You can call us tonight live in the studio. You might have something to say. You might want to get in on a discussion. Area code 607-272-0319. You can call us tonight. Also, Wednesday night at 9 p.m. and Thursday morning at 10:30 a.m. and Sunday at 3:30 p.m. That's our following broadcast. So if you miss tonight, you can pick it up Wednesday, Thursday, or Sunday. Also with me tonight, co-host Milton Webb, and a special guest tonight with us, Scott Marsland. He's a nurse from Cayuga Medical. And we're going to be here talking to him tonight, live. How you feeling?
Good.
Scott?
Good to be back, Stan.
Good. It's good to be back. Yes.
What's up, Scott?
We heard that a lot was going on with the movement and more money. We know that's the first thing on the list. You know, paying the nurses, the doctors, the staff. You know, more money. Maybe you can elaborate on what you are dealing with.
Okay. Well, the nurses have been working to unionize at the hospitals since about May. And so we're coming up pretty soon here on a year. And although money's important, money's not at the top of the list. You know, at the top of the list is patient safety and quality of care. But in order to have patient safety and quality of care, you have to have nurses who are experienced and educated. And unfortunately, in the last year, since we started working to unionize, we've seen at least 40 nurses leave Cayuga Medical Center because of their dissatisfaction with the work conditions. But, you know, it's something that I understand more now than I understood when we started out is how important it is for everyone at the hospital, from dietary to environmental services, to maintenance, to the aides, to be working together with the nurses, because, you know, I think what the medical center wants is for us to break it down and lose power by separating from each other. And so I think I understand more deeply at this point how important it is that we have a living wage campaign here in Tompkins County. And you know, the medical center is one of the largest employers in Tompkins County.
Oh, you know what? I think those people need to hear that. So, you know, I don't think they heard what you said.
Right.
You know, so if they watching, you know, they need to be looking right here and hear exactly what you're saying about this message, because a lot of people don't receive that yet. Right. They're thinking that this is, you know, this is just, you know, they just asking for more money. No, people's lives is at stake.
Right.
Because if people leave the profession and go elsewhere, those were good people. Any one of those people can save your life. You know what I mean? So people need to hear that. Right. And it's to say that, you know, what are we doing here? You know, it's like they're holding back funds and money where people profession and people to save lives come in at stake. Because if they got to go somewhere else and look for other work and look for to feed their family and other things in their profession, and what they do best is going unnoticed. You know, and so that's the shame here. So I think people need to really check what's going on here, you know, and listen to every day we try to promote people to get on this train, you know, to be aboard, sign petition, you know, and be one that can count, you know, because right now This is a movement worldwide, and it's global. And people in other countries, some off worse than we are, but right now everybody's saying enough is enough. So it's like, hey, what's the next step?
So, a question I have for both of you, because you've been working on the living wage much longer than I have. What do you think is the importance of Tompkins County moving forward with a living wage that is adjusted every couple of years, that's set by the credit union, as opposed to going along with what Governor Cuomo proposes?
Exactly. And see, we pulled away from the governor's aspect. We wasn't a part of his agenda. His agenda is 5 years. He gives someone $15, and they would, hand feed you, okay, for how many years they want. But right now, we're saying that, listen, it need to be $15 now, and every time inflation go up or the cost of living go up, guess what? Living wage go up.
Right.
Okay, this is where we stand, and we're going to stand, and we're taking this around the world. It's not just Tompkins County. We're taking this around the world. So we see their agenda, but in 5 years, we'll be back where we started at.
Right, that's right.
And we're not going that way. I don't know what they think, but we wasn't born yesterday, okay? We was born, but wasn't yesterday. And so we are taking this platform and we are telling people, because I don't think people understand what we are doing. I don't think they understand what we're saying. We're saying every time inflation goes up, living wage go up. We're not going to stay with $15 and bring the minimum wage to $15 and then you stay there for 20 more years.
Right.
Okay? We're not doing that. We're going up with living wage every time the taxes go up. Every time inflation goes up. Every time it's hard for a family member or a single person to feed their kids, to feed their family, living wage go up. And this is where we stand.
And the whole thing about it is it's like Stanley said, we're looking at $15 now. Everybody goes, well, we can't do that because, yes, you can. Yes, you can, because if you sit back, like Stanley said, like and we said this all along, if we wait 5 years to get these $15, all right, what kind of boat are you going to be in? Because now you're in a boat to where you're talking about a living wage. Everybody wants to talk about $9.75, $10, okay? You can't make it with that. You're not going to make it with that. When it comes right down to it, in 5 years, you're going to be in the same spot at 5 years at $15 an hour that you are right now at $9.75, $10 an hour.
I'll be on that treadmill.
And a lot of people don't understand. It sounds good when you hear that.
Right.
Oh, wow, in 5 years, we're going to get $15 an hour. Okay, that's 5 years. What are you going to do between now and 5 years?
Right.
All right, so now what they can do is they can give you that $15 an hour in 5 years, and now you're stuck with that $15 an hour while living wage is steady climbing.
That's right.
And going up.
Right.
You're not getting that because you settled for the $15 an hour. This is what Stanley and I did not settle on.
That's right.
We want the $15 an hour for everybody right now. We understand that the first thing that says, well, you're going to drive all the prices up. Get a life. Understand one thing, the prices are going to go up anyway.
Thank you.
So when they go up, have a fighting chance to be able to go to the store and get what you need to get with the money that you got. Don't go to the store and say, no, I don't know if I can get that. I don't know if we have, how much money you got. You can't sit there and count your money. Then all of a sudden you get at the cash register, oh, we got to put that back. Oh, we got to put that back. All right, there's nothing more degrading than going to that cash register and got to put stuff back. And you're right there in front of your kids, okay? Now, I don't have enough money to do this, all right? But you got $15 an hour.
Right.
That $15 an hour ain't doing you no good when the living wage is $22 an hour.
Exactly.
And it's not like you say, it's not about the money, it's about the quality. It's about what you're doing and how you're living, all right? Now, if you mess around here and you don't raise things, that $15 an hour, you can live like a king, okay? But when you start raising things, just think about it like this here. You can go to the store and look at a loaf of bread. That's $2.50. What do you think it's going to be in 5 years? All right? A dozen of eggs, $3.75. What do you think it's going to be in 5 years? Well, how much you think milk going to be in 5 years from now? What do you think it's going to be? See, this is what we're talking about, all right? Don't filter it in. If you're going to filter it in at $2.50 at a time, every 8 months, every 6 months, okay? But don't tell me you can't do this. Now, I understand that there's some stores that are just opening that can't do that, all right? So you got to wait on them. But then again, all right, you got to sit there, and Stanley said this before, all right? You want to open up this store, and you want tax exemption, but you don't want to pay your workers.
Right.
So you're sitting on the money that the people gave you for these tax exemptions, and now all of a sudden you can't do what you need to do. But then again, you don't want to pay that man. You don't want to pay that nurse. You don't want to pay that construction worker. You don't want to pay that store worker that's working that money, but you got the money for them.
Right.
That's why you got your taxes cut back and exempt, so you can go ahead and pay them.
Right.
And they're not doing that. They're putting that money in their pocket or doing whatever they're doing with it, but they're not giving it to their workers. No. This is why these people are talking about, I can't give you $15 an hour. You got a hotel that's going up right downtown, right? Okay? Think about how much tax money that they got, all right? Cut off the top. You think those workers are going to get that? Those people making those beds, you think they're going to get that?
Nope.
No, they're not. But then again, they're going to tell you, I can't pay you that money because.
Right. So you know what, I'd like to piggyback on what you're saying and talk about what would Cayuga Medical Center leadership say if we went to Cayuga Medical Center and said, look, you're one of the largest employers in this county, you need to be a role model and pay a living wage. And if they come back and say, no, we don't have the money, we can't afford that, I just want to lay some numbers out here, okay?
Yeah.
A 990 is a form that a nonprofit organization files with the federal government that displays for all the public to see.
Right.
It's like a 60 to 80 page document or longer. This is what we paid our best top paid employers. This is what we paid in taxes. This is what we invested in. So in 2014, it was a very interesting year. You know, I've been at the medical center for 15 years.
Okay.
First year in decades that employees didn't get a bonus. You know, we got and I'm not complaining that I got it. I appreciate it. I got a gift certificate to Wegmans. Okay? So let me tell you what Johnny Rudd, the CEO of Cayuga Medical Center, got. He got a $71,225 bonus that year. And he got a 16.9% raise. So that means his pay went from a paltry $398,000 to $470,000. Okay, that's just John Rudd. Let's talk about John Collette, the Chief Financial Officer. Guess what he got for a bonus?
What?
$28,000. 28, you know, and that's more than a lot of employees that aren't even making the living wage. And he got an 8.2% raise.
What?
One more person, David Evelyn, Dr. Evelyn, who's the Vice President for Medical Affairs. Guess what he got?
What?
A $42,000 bonus. And he got an 10% raise. So he went from $303,000 a year to $334,000 a year. One other thing I got to say here, do you think Cayuga Medical Center had a positive bottom line that year?
Oh,
Cayuga Medical Center lost $2.5 million that year. So look at this disconnect.
Yeah.
Right here in Tompkins County, right here at Cayuga Medical Center, which is supposed to be there caring for patients, a nonprofit. Well, it sure was a nonprofit organization that year because under the fine leadership, they lost $2.5 million. So did they say, well, no one else is getting a bonus, we're not going to get a bonus either because we're in this with you? No. Disconnect.
Exactly.
They all got big fat bonuses and big fat raises. And that's not fair.
Exactly.
It doesn't make sense. And tell me if you had that money there instead, and that's the only 3 of the fat cats at the top, okay?
Yeah.
If you have that money to pay those